So our next speaker is Dave Hackett, founder and CEO of the Information Lab. The Information Lab has been around for the last 10 years, and it's great over the last few years to see an Irish Indigenous company growing from strength to strength. Dave today is going to talk to us about designing your own data experience. Over to you, Dave.
Thank you, Lorcan, for that kind introduction. Hi, my name is Dave Hackett. I'm the Managing Director here of the Information Lab in Ireland. And our team are focused on helping data analysts, data scientists like yourselves to prepare their data, to design their data, to explore data and scale data. And so whether you're a data scientist or analyst, or whether you're a person within an organization or a team trying to influence the data culture, I hope you may get one or two insights from how we help our customers to design a data experience. So today I'm going to speak about three things. The first is the impact of data visualization, the explosion of data visualization in 2020 and what likely that is going to mean for our businesses. The second thing is how we help our customers to design a data experience. And the third part of my presentation is an announcement of a digital coaching platform that we will be launching in 2021. So in 2020, when we look back at data visualization, at the start of the year, we were all beginning to understand that we were facing a global pandemic. And data visualization started to appear on the front page of every magazine, newspaper, and digital media nationally and globally. And the simple bar chart and line chart was used to influence the decisions of leaders of organizations and also of the heads of government at a global level. It was looking for international cooperation. And even though a global pandemic such as coronavirus was something that we knew very little about as individuals, we understood the bar charts and line charts that were being displayed to us on a regular basis. This adoption of understanding, this communication, this simplicity of the message is what data visualization is all about. It is about trying to convey complex information in an easy to understand way. It is about being able to understand what is happening and influencing other people's behavior, whether this is in a team or whether it's in your organization or whether it's at a profit or not-for-profit level. That bar chart and line chart, as it still exists today, is something we understood to influence our behaviors. And whether we agree or disagree with the decisions that have been made on the back of that information, one thing that is unarguable is that the standard has been set in 2020 for the reporting of key metrics to influence other people's behavior through data visualization. The other trend we saw in 2020 continuing to grow was the participation of volunteer data analysts in their community to help not-for-profit organizations to tell their story. The organization Viz for Social Good is one of these organizations where there is over 300 analysts who have published data visualizations that have had over 300,000 views. The ability of all data analysts to support communities that need their help in telling their stories is profound and can have a great impact on society all around us. And it's a trend that we continue to see grow and will grow again in 2021. So now that we're aware of the importance of data visualization and the trends within it, how do we then help our customers to design a better data experience? Well, one of the questions that we continuously get asked is how do we identify where we are on our data journey? And so we've broken down the 5 streams that we see within an organization to analyze. And it's something that you can do today for your team or for your organization. My thanks to Ian Baldwin and to Daisy Jones for the work that they've done with this project, which is now something that forms part of our core consultancy work with our clients. So the 5 areas that we look at when we're trying to help our customers to identify where they are in their data journey starts with strategy. How important is data to you in the strategy of your organization? Is data exist in silos around the organization? Are we starting to integrate data into our decisions? Are we building communities within our organization? Are we starting to use data as a core tenet of our decision support? Or are we truly a data-driven organization where we are unlocking the value of our data and using it as a competitive advantage in how we conduct our business? The second pillar is governance. Governance really empowers those of us around us to get the most from the data value within your organization. Again, if we were looking at the start, the beginning of the journey, you would say that there's flat files maybe sent around by email, it's ungoverned, it's a high risk of leaking of information or information being put in front of the wrong people. Then we start to introduce security and governance where there's certified data sources in the organization. And that grows where there's a fully functional security model enabled within our data that's deployed across the enterprise or across the business. Now that means if we were to onboard a new employee, when they start, they would be able to open their laptop, access certified data sources, and be able to ask questions of that data straight away. That really empowers our colleagues within our organization to ask questions of their data, to use their experience and expertise to do so, and to be able to help us to unlock insights in areas that we didn't otherwise know. The third area that we look at in an organization is skills. As Barry O'Sullivan said just before me, it is probably one of the most important areas. Skills can start their journey on people being aware of what's possible with the tools that are available within data visualization and data analysis. And they can go all the way up to, it is expected of all new joiners for an organization to have data visualization and data analysis skills before they start their job. At all stages, this should be supported within the organization for the community around it, which is the next area that we look at. And how is that community growing within the organization? And how is that community supporting the decisions that the different teams are making within the organization? And that last area then is technology. How are we deploying technology to enable scale, to create operational efficiency, to ensure that the dashboards that are being reviewed and the data sources that are being analyzed around the organization are being used easily and ease of access. So I'd mentioned there was 5 then different levels in the data journey matrix. We see siloed data teams growing into an area where there's partial data integration, where there's data communities, then there's data supported businesses, and ultimately where there's data driven businesses. Like my brief story before, imagine the employee who starts in the organization with a laptop who's fully enabled to access all areas of the business to find insights that we were otherwise unaware of. So one area I decided I'd focus on for today is skills in that journey. So what we're looking at is prior and present knowledge, training and development, and then cross-departmental usage. So just to begin with prior or present knowledge, where there is little to no understanding of the use of data preparation or data visualization tools, growing to a basic understanding of the tools that are available to them, knowing then that tools are in use and they're encouraged across teams, and that when a data supported vertical, that they're proficient in data preparation and visualization, and that lastly, that people are self-sufficient within an organization to be able to analyze their data. And if we place the different levels of support underneath that, we go from having no support for data visualization or data analysis to being fully supported by a distributed community teams within an organization. And that really enables an organization to perform at the top of its game. So at the Information Lab, we had to change how we go about our business in order to be able to help our customers to design a data strategy or design a better data experience within that organization. And so that starts for us with listening to their needs, to really understanding what they're trying to achieve, to listening to all the related stakeholders and understanding what they are trying to achieve, to helping them to reframe what they consider to be reporting and analytics, and I'm going to touch on that shortly and how we go about that. Helping them imagine what is possible, one of the most enjoyable aspects of the data design strategy. Believing and delivering a proposal that we feel will have a great impact on the organization, and then executing against that strategy. Now, one of the most important aspects of the things that we do in our job is when we're working with customers is we help them to document value. And I thought I'd just touch on this briefly because it may help you in your team or your organization when you're investing in a data design strategy for your organization. So the documentation of value can typically be around percentage savings and costs or increases in revenue. They're the more obvious ones. However, one of the areas of documentation of value that we're seeing that is becoming incredibly important is in data quality management. If we are accessing data in a CRM, such as a Salesforce, or if we're looking at other operational or revenue tools within the organization, and we're finding anomalies or data duplication, well, then we know that the quality of our data is weak. And if we're analyzing data that has €1 million worth of value, or if 10 million euros or plus or more, and we find data quality management issues, well, we can demonstrate that by reducing the risk of data quality management, increasing the quality of the data, that we can protect that value within the organization. So when we're looking at a data design strategy, I would suggest that we keep value pinned to the proposal to help you to share with your team the value that you've demonstrated for the organization as a result of your investment. Two trends that we see within the industry at the moment that you're all familiar with are automation and software application use. When asked, 50% of CFOs said that they were going to automate various elements of their finance functions, such as payroll, tax, audit. And we do know that applications and different software systems are being used en masse now within organizations. So one recent report stated that over 120 software applications were being used in organizations to help them with their business. So now we know that data visualization is incredibly important. The standards that are expected of us as an organization. We know how to think about our organization and to score ourselves and understand how to design a data strategy that is bespoke to ourselves. And we know what the trends are. How does the Information Lab reframe that discussion? So we have 4 key pillars to how we reframe the data design strategy experience, and I would invite you to use these within your own teams. We have prepare data, design data, explore data, and scale data. So the preparation of data is where the work is done connecting to multiple data sources to create rich governed data sets, to perform the calculations that we used to do in flat files or in spreadsheets, and to build automation around that workflow and create those certified data sources. Designing data is the ability to design on-brand dashboards, and also that are easy to use by people who are viewing those dashboards around the organization. We'd like to make it easy for them to find the insights and the key report metrics that they're looking for. Exploring data is the ability for us to be able to train the teams within an organization. How do you enable your colleagues and your customers to be able to analyze the data sets that you've prepared for them? And scaling data relates to the architecture or deployment of a data visualization or analysis software within an organization. We want to optimize the performance. How do we make sure the dashboards load on time? How do we make sure there's no delays on the server or it doesn't go down? High availability and disaster recovery. So prepare, design, explore, and scale are how we help to frame the discussion, and I hope that gives you an insight on how you can within your team. I would like to mention a customer that we worked with in 2020 that opened our eyes to how they think about digital transformation within their organization. Andrea Palella is the lead for digital transformation within PwC. And PwC had set a goal in 2020 to educate every single one of their team on the latest in data analysis tools. And Andrea created 2 days for every single employee. We participated in the second day, delivering training in Alteryx and in Tableau. But the first day was in-house with Andrea's team. And it was a day where they helped educate all the people within the organization about what is possible with data design, with data analysis, and data visualization. So really creating a culture around what's possible with data. And to take the mindset and the tools together is a very important lesson that we took from our work with PwC, and we were delighted with the result. So just before I wrap up, I wanted to make that announcement that I'd mentioned earlier on. In 2021, our head coach, Tom Pilgrim, will be taking all the skills and expertise he has learned and he has delivered to our team, and he is behind the delivery of and the launch of thetraininglab.com. Now, the traininglab.com is a digital platform that will enable our head coaches to provide one-on-one coaching to the people on your team who need data analysis skills and data visualization skills. And it will launch on the 14th of February 2021. If you have an interest in the announcements leading up to the launch of that event, we would encourage you to leave your email address at thetraininglab.com, which is part of the Information Lab, and we will be in touch with you shortly. So I'm just going to hand back now to Lorcan Malone.
Thank you very much, Dave. That was fantastic. We've had a few questions. One, which I think is very interesting, because we talk about data visualization a lot. Do you see that as an artistic skill, or do you see it as a scientific IT skill?
The design of data visualization is very important.
Yeah.
I think there's the potential there to be incredibly artistic, but the real expertise is in making a data visualization very simple to understand. So if you look at a lot of the enterprise organizations, they really do use bar charts and line charts. So although there is a lot of very well-designed data visualizations out there, ultimately senior business leaders just want to make a decision very quickly. But there is a skill in designing very simple dashboards where decision makers can understand the metrics and make a fully informed decision very quickly. So it's a combination of both.
Yeah, so doing things simply can be the hardest thing to do at all. Yeah, okay, very good. How have your customers responded in the COVID situation to the remote delivery of your projects? Have you been able to manage to do that, and are they happy with the service that they've been receiving, albeit remotely, from you?
Yeah, well, thanks, Lorcan. So this year we have operated to the standards of ISO 27001. So we're just going through the final auditing standard at the moment. So really it probably advanced for us a lot of the standards we needed within our organization for processing and managing and handling data. Yeah. So that went quite well. And then in terms of the delivery of training, we've been able to reach a far wider audience, because I suppose the people who we've been training haven't needed to travel, so they've saved a lot of time. And we've been employing 2 people on our training sessions. So there's a moderator there to provide support to the questions and answers, and there's also the trainer who's delivering the training. So it's worked out quite well.
Yeah, I think I've been flabbergasted by what we've been able to achieve by using things like Zoom and Rooms and breaking people up into sessions, and like stuff that you would have always said before this you'd have to have a training plan for in a room, you'd have to have the purpose-built studio or whatever, but actually we could do an awful lot of these things just being a bit clever with the tech.
Yeah, and trying to keep children from running into the room at the same time.
I've heard some horror stories about that over the last while. Have you seen, obviously you're setting up your training lab, have you seen a demand for data visualization skills increasing? And also, if somebody's getting into this for the first time, what do they study? Where do they go? How do they go about? Do they do an IT degree? What do they do to become a great data visualization expert?
Okay, I think data visualization skills are definitely on the rise, to answer that question.
Yeah, okay.
Organizations, I think, are now more aware of the quality of their reporting. So before, when it was Excel spreadsheets and PowerPoint and PDFs, they were probably less aware. Now, to the point about data visualization being in the media everywhere, I think companies are now more aware, so that skill set is going up in demand. To learn how to become involved in data visualization is to look at the leading technologies. You could go to, for example, we use Tableau, so go to tableau.com, and there's incredible learning resources. But I also know that the Analytics Institute have some great courses. So I'd actually point them in your direction there as well.
And I'd be delighted to help. Super. I think that's great, Dave. I think you're doing a great job. I think the idea of designing your own data experience is really interesting. I think the coaching platform is timely, spot on. Thanks, and I wish you every success with it.
Well done with the conference.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're going for a quick break now, so about 10-minute break. And don't forget, if you haven't participated in the competition, now's your chance. Thank you. That ends this session.